Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this Rainbow Dash themed drip cake, so let's get right into it. I'm starting off with two 6-inch cakes that I've leveled and cut in half, and I'm going to be stacking those up with some Swiss meringue buttercream using my small offset spatula. You want to make sure that your layers of buttercream are nice and even, and once that's finished, I'm going to apply a thin layer of my buttercream all around the outside of my cake to lock in the crumbs, and then that's going to go in the fridge for about 25 minutes to chill. Once you can touch your finger to the buttercream and none of it comes off, it's ready for the final ice. I have some white and blue buttercream that I've put into Ziploc bags because I could not find my piping bags, but you could use either or, whatever you have. I just cut off the end and I'm going to be piping those around the cake, just alternating the colors starting from the bottom. If you have any gaps in your buttercream, you can just pipe a little more on in that spot and then smooth it out with your spatula. Once the sides were all covered, I grabbed my bench scraper and just started going around my cake. You want to make sure that you clean off your scraper between each swipe. It looks a little rough at first, but as you keep going around, it starts to neaten up. Again, if you have any gaps or if you think your lines are a little crooked, you can just go back and add some more of the buttercream that you need for whatever color you're using. Once I achieved the look I was going for, I took my small offset spatula and just all that buttercream that accumulated on the top edge of my cake, I'm dragging that into the center. At this point, my cake is going to go back in the fridge to chill and I'm going to start on my ganache. I'm using a ratio of 100 grams white chocolate to 50 grams heavy cream. If you want a thicker ganache, use less cream. If you want a thinner ganache, use more cream. Whatever your preference is, you can just do whatever. I put that into the microwave for 30 seconds at a time, stirring really well in between because you don't want this to overheat. And then once it was all melted down, I added a little bit of my pink food coloring. I let my ganache come to room temperature before applying it to my chilled cake. I started along the edge and did the drips first. Everybody likes their drips to look differently. If you want thicker or thinner, if you want them to run down to the board or not, just do whatever you like. And then once those were done, I filled in the top and just smoothed it out with my spatula. That's going back in the fridge to chill, and I'm going to start working on my decorations. To make my unicorn bark, I melted down some white candy melts, just following the instructions on the package, and then spread that out onto my silicone mat. Not super thin, but also not super thick. I know that's not really helpful, but you want to make sure that it will come apart and it's not going to snap super easily. Before it had time to set, I just sprinkled on everything I wanted to go on top of there. You can really add anything you want. You just want to make sure that you do this quickly before the chocolate starts to set. Once it has set, I grabbed a knife that I ran under some hot water and wiped it off and just scored in the triangles that I wanted to cut out. I rolled out some pink and white fondant, and then with different size heart cutters, I just punched out a bunch of those. With more of my white fondant, I cut out these cloud shapes and then just set them aside to dry with the hearts. For my rainbow, I rolled out long snakies of blue, yellow, purple, and pink fondant, and then I shaped them around a circle cutter and just trimmed off the edges. And once I had them all side by side, I just took a little bit of water on my paintbrush and brushed those in between. I let that dry completely before flipping it over, and with 2 pieces of fondant and 2 cake pop sticks, I just attached those on either side with a little bit of water. This method isn't as pretty as just inserting a skewer into the rainbow, but I didn't want it to be super thick, and if you try to put a skewer in it when it's too thin, then it just looks really bulgy. So this is the method that I like to use. To make my Rainbow Dash figurine, I have some light blue fondant that I'm rolling out into this long teardrop shape, and I want to angle the thin end of that up for the neck. Using my fingers, I want to indent the back and the front of that, just where the legs are going to slot in. For the front legs, I'm rolling out these two sausage shapes and blunting one end against the counter by pressing it down, and then for the other end, I'm just thinning it out so it's going to fit nicer against the body and not be so bulky. For the two back legs, I did the exact same thing, except I added a little bit of a bend. I will link the photo that I used for a reference picture. I don't know what that is called, but it's just the way the back leg was shaped. I let the body and all four legs firm up before I tried to attach them together. I just used a little bit of water, but if you want something stronger, you could use some piping gel or even some Tylose powder mixed with a little bit of water for the glue. For the head, I rolled out this teardrop shape, and the pointed end is going to be the nose. So I blunted that just a little bit and then used my fingers to shape where the eyes are going to go. I do apologize, I know some of this footage is a little bit blurry, but I'm still trying to figure out my camera. Using circles of white, purple, and black, I recreated the eyes and then added another little snaky of black on top for the lashes. To attach the head to the body, I used a piece of spaghetti. You can see as I'm showing it to you, her head like lolls to the side and almost falls off. To prevent that from happening, just add a little bit of water. I rolled out two triangles of blue for her ears and indented the middle with the back of my paintbrush and just attached those with a little bit of water on either side. For her rainbow mane, I rolled out all the different colors and attached them to the front for her fringe and the side for her mane, and then for her tail, I rolled them all out and then stacked them on top of each other and just curled the ends up and tried to make it look like there was a little more texture, and then just attached that to her butt using a little bit of water. Taking more of my fondant, I'm rolling that out, and then with my X-Acto knife, I'm cutting out a wing shape, and then I also cut out a smaller version of that and just layered it on top. And now the fun part, adding everything together. I put my rainbow in and then added the bark, just being really careful with it. You don't want to snap it. It should just press into the cake. And I had a bunch of different stuff to put on top. I had gumballs and jelly beans and more sprinkles. You can basically add whatever you want. I attached the clouds to the rainbow using a little bit of water, and then into the bottom of my Rainbow Dash figurine, I added a couple more pieces of spaghetti just for more stability and placed her right in there. Like a total dum-dum, I forgot to put her wings on, but I did add them later after I took my pictures in my video. I just applied them with a piece of spaghetti stuck in and then a little bit of water for some extra support. It didn't really show me making it, but I did slap on her cutie mark. It's basically just a little cloud with 3 colors like in a lightning pattern. Do not crucify me over anything to do with My Little Pony. I do not watch the show. I have very limited knowledge of what goes on, but I do know they have cutie marks. And this was the final result, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week.